Good old school RuneScape. Good old has broken the internet with a tweet. Lots of views, 435,000 views. They just said Deadman, and it's now been almost 2 weeks since they've tweeted this one at the time when I'm making this video. And there's absolutely no other context on this whatsoever. Top comment, obviously being Solo Mission, small content creator in the RuneScape category, said, "There's no way you just misspelled leagues that badly." Well, Mr. Mission, why not both? Can we have both? Look, guys, look at this. I've spent the past 6 months making this beautiful, long boy. Let's look at it. Okay, first off, look at the Photoshop skills. Leagues for Deadman mode. Okay, here's my thought. Hear me out. And, like, I am happy to just get straight up leagues, and I'm happy to just get straight up Deadman mode separately on different planets and galaxies or whatever. But this could be very fun. So, here's my thought. What if they combined leagues and Deadman mode and made a Leagueman Dead, or Deadman League? What? So, here's the plan. Here are the rules. All accounts would be Iron Men. Right away, that's different from Deadman mode. There's a whole economy and trading and like stuff like that. But guess what? It ends up being who is in the bigger clan and who gets fed more gear. If everyone's an Iron Man, you're getting that stuff for yourself. Alright, so that would be, right away, that's my first rule that I'd put in. You'd have a list of tasks that get you points. That is like a league, very similar. Boosted XP rates, obviously need that. I'm not about to grind at 1 times XP. I'll do a minimum of 10. You know what? Give me 10 times XP rates. Same PvP rules of the main game. The wildy is not safe. So here's my thought on the Deadman PKing aspect of it. If you're in the wilderness, you are free game to be attacked. If you get killed, you lose your gear. Like if you are not skulled and you have protect item on, you're keeping your 4 best items. Those just get deleted. Like this is just setting people back. But you're an Iron Man, so that's why it gets deleted, not dropped to the other player. So it's just kind of like an annoying thing. If you're in the wilderness and you get PK'd, people will still do it. People will still PK for fun. It is absolutely going to happen. It just adds a little bit of spice to it. High scores for league points, right? You're going to have your high scores there. That's standard. No problems there. Weekly 1v1 tourneys that are opt-in. This is a thought. This is not, I don't know. Comment below. Also subscribe while you're at it. But comment below. Like, this could be fun. Say at the end of every week, you can join a tournament with the current gear and stats that you have. And you can take part in this tournament. That could give you points, like rankings. And maybe that is how you qualify for the finals. Or the alternative would just be you run the league for a month, 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever it is, and at the end of the tournament, everyone, like, you qualify for the finals. You've got your gear, you've got your this, that. So that's the thought. I don't know. This seems cool. You could do both. Like, you could have a big send-off tournament at the end, but in the meantime, you can do the 1v1 tournaments, like an opt-in little thing. Could be fun. There will still be clans involved in this. You know, they're going to lock down those wildy bosses in multi. Absolutely, because that's just kind of how it works, but otherwise it could be fun. Alright, let's slide on to the next one. So, as I mentioned, there would be like a list of tasks and leagues points, just like a regular league. So let's say point thresholds let you pick a new relic. Here's one issue that I've had with previous leagues. You go along and you get to your first threshold and you pick your relic, and then you can't get another relic in that tier. So I want it to be that you can unlock every single one. Say there's 20 different relics. Usually there's more than that. Say there's 20. Every 1,000 points, you get to unlock another one. So every 1,000 points you're going along, you pick another one. Like, everyone's going to pick them in different orders, probably. Like, you have 20 different options. 20 factorial different options, which is a lot of options on the order you unlock them in. So, yeah, these are some examples of what relics are if you're not in the know. So, Endless Harvest is one of the relics from a previous league where every resource that you gather from fishing, woodcutting, and mining would be multiplied by 2. Experience is granted per resource gathered. So you basically you're getting double experience in those skills and double the resources. Very cool. The resources you gather are sent directly to your bank if you have space. If not, they'll be put in your inventory. Like, they're so good. These relics are game-breaking. That's why this is played on a separate server from the main game, and it's called a league. So that would be, like, this is an example of a relic. Like, would you pick that right away? Be like, dude, I'm going to do some skilling. I'm just going to go get some fishing, get some fish cut wood, fish caught. Yeah, sorry, flubbity-bubbed that one up a little bit, bear bud. A couple of mining, yeah, get some resources. That'd be cool. Last recall, okay, this one is like add it to the main game. Honestly, just don't. But last recall was you get a little teleport thing in your inventory, and when you teleport away from a location, you can teleport back to it. And it was like you could go to, you know, a super far away boss that takes 12 minutes to get to, teleport to a bank, and then immediately teleport back to the boss, and just repeat that over and over again. Same thing with rune crafting. You could go from the rune crafting altar to the bank, and then back to the rune crafting altar over and over again. It was very powerful, very good. It was just fun. Like, if you want to have a league that's going to keep people's attention, you want it to be extremely fun and easy to play, and just like extreme amounts of dopamine. Like, you want to be pumping drops into these people's hands every 4 seconds. You want them to see the like 2000 XP drop from chopping a yew tree, stuff like that. So, weapon specialist, this is one of my favorites. All attacks have 10% increased accuracy and 10% increased damage. That part's not that relevant, but the main part of this was special attack energy regenerates at a rate of 30% every 30 seconds instead of 10. So you get your spec back 3 times faster, and everything costs a maximum of 20% spec. So if you have an item that usually takes 100% spec, it now just takes 20. Can you imagine a Zarite crossbow with this? That'd be so insane. Just like 5 Ruby Bolt specs in a row. So, as I said, you should be able to pick all the relics eventually, unlike previous leagues. That's super important to me. I hated those leagues where once you make your choice, you cannot get the other relics that were in that bracket. Like, there's you pick from these 3, you couldn't get the other 2. And it just kind of was like bad gameplay. People made the wrong decision and quit and never played again. Like, I don't know. It's just fun for everyone if you can eventually pick all of them. Some relics could say that they don't affect PvP. So, like, if this is a PvP kind of centered league, which it wouldn't be centered, it's more of like an opt-in to PvP. Like, the wilderness is opt-in. If you go across that ditch, like, you're opting into PvP. And then the tournament at the end, like, you don't need to play that. You would have the high scores for league points, and like those league points would let you buy some league stuff. But otherwise, like, you could take part in the tournament. You could play it either way. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. So some of these relics could say they don't affect PvP. Like weapon specialist here, maybe it's like the 10% increased accuracy and damage does not affect PvP, for example. But then there could also be some relics that are specific to PvP. So just looking down here, here's some examples of the previous Deadman mode where they had these sigils, where there's same thing, relics, sigils, same thing, where you get to put 3 on, or slot 1, 2, 3, whatever it was. So this one was like your melee accuracy is increased by 10, like plus 10, not 10%, stuff like that. So you'd be able to choose like your relics that are maybe like PvP only relics, or maybe the relics are like, oh, it gives you 50% more damage, but it does not affect PvP. Something like that. Just keep it kind of balanced, I guess. My other thought, and here was an interesting thing. Instead of saying like, oh, this doesn't affect PvP, they could balance everything. Where like, yeah, you start hitting higher damage, 10% increased damage. Maybe there was a relic that made you attack twice as fast. Like, there's no way you could keep up in PvP if people attack twice as fast. But if it was like everything is doubled in damage, for example, once you've got all these multipliers on, they could also add like another 100, 200 HP and have food that heals 60 instead of 20. Just a thought. Just a thought. Again, comments section, guys. It's actually not comments, it's the compliments section, so make sure you compliment me. Thank you. Here's the next little box here. Additional possibilities, but maybe not best for this. Maybe best for the next one. That's how I wrote it. Keep this one simple. Like this league, we haven't had a league in a while. We haven't had Deadman in a while. Deadman. Mode. Dead. I'm tired. Can you tell? We haven't had a Deadman mode in a while. So maybe this, like, ignore this stuff. But this would be kind of cool. Example 1, or thought 1, you can get PvP armor and weapons from monsters. So everything you kill in the game has a chance at this, like, mega rare table. Say it's a 1 in 10,000 chance that you get a Vesta's Longsword from something that has 100 HP. And then if it's got 50 HP, it's a 1 in 20,000 that you get a Vesta's Longsword. But if you've got 6 weeks and you're constantly killing monsters, eventually you're going to probably hit that Vesta's Longsword. So that's just an example. That was in previous Deadman modes where I remember getting a what was it, a Vesta's Spear from a Terror Bird, and it's got like 20 HP. It's like level 40 or something like that. I don't know. I just like bonked it once with my like rune short sword and got a Vesta's Spear. That was hilarious. It was just fun. It adds an extra layer of like, I could get something insane from a goblin, or, you know, maybe you double that in the wilderness. Like if you kill it in the wilderness, it's twice as likely because it's a PvP sort of armor. And when I say PvP armor, I mean those Vestas, Statius, Morgans, and Zuriels. They're basically just, say they'd be like the same as if you had Torva or Masori or Ancestral. Maybe you just give them the exact same stats. It's just an alternate way of getting it. Maybe you don't want to just do a bunch of raids in this league and you want to get the armor another way. Well, that could be an option. New skilling gear from skilling activities. So this would be the equivalent of that PvP gear. Maybe there's like a new pickaxe, a new harpoon, a new axe, and these are like insanely good. So you're chopping trees and you have like a chance, like a super rare chance of getting like instead of a third age pickaxe, it's like even better than that. It looks cooler, it works better, stuff like that. I don't know. Just a cool little thought. Here's what we've done in the past. We've had regions locked, bosses, quests, and skills locked. So any of these could be cool. Again, maybe just keep the first one simple, and then when you roll it back, like you played again in 6 months, you could say, okay, now regions are locked. Like that's the change. So if I remember correctly, the first league was locked to Zaya only, and very bare bones. You just pick your relics and you play and get points. Second one was Trailblazer League, where every region was locked, and you had to pick which regions you went to. But of course, they made to me, it was an error, to only allow you to pick 3 regions, and then the other ones in the game, you could never go into them. Like, why not just let us get them all? Like, you know, maybe the first one takes 1,000 points, second one takes 5,000, third one takes 15,000. Like, at least if we could go to the fourth one, like maybe it's 30,000 or 45,000. Like, it's insanely hard to get there, but you could, in theory, get there. Like, that would be ideal. So that would be region lock. Bosses locked. So here was the league unlocks from the recent league here. This was from the Shattered Relics League. So Shattered Relics was basically everything's locked except for regions. So bosses, if you wanted to kill Cerberus, for example, you'd have to buy it for League's points. And you get League's points by leveling up your character. This is 23 League's points here. And then when you unlock a skill, some of these skills, like agility, were like 5 points. Fire making was like 5 points. But then something like Herblore, for example, or Prayer, might have been like 10 points, 15 points. So then you're kind of managing what you do. The quests was the best part. This has to come back. Just unlocking a quest and it skips it for you. Unreal. Best thing ever. But something like Dragon Slayer 2 was like 20 points. Whereas Prince Ali Rescue was 3. And, you know, Sheepshearer was 1. Stuff like that. I liked that point system. Again, might be best to ignore that for the first rerun or, you know, reboot of Deadman mode /leagues. I think that'd be dope. And then Tileman League. Honestly, I can't see them coming straight out and doing a Deadman /league hybrid like I'm suggesting here. So Tileman seems like the next logical solution or the next logical path for them to go down. They always follow what the trend is, but just 2 years late. So like the region lock, they did that couple years late. Next would be Tileman. The only other one I could think of would be like a collection log based league, where like each collection log slot item you unlock gives you points, and like that's what you unlock stuff with, as opposed to task lists. But I like the task list. I think it gives you something to work towards constantly. Scrolling back down here to the final little part. What do we got here? Yeah, so the other things to consider. The length of the league. They got to get this right. Previous league, most recent one, they gave you, I think it was like 8 weeks, and people complained it was too short, and they upped it to like 12 or something. Or it was like 6 and they upped it to 9. Something like that. That thing went on forever. And it was just like the final like 4 weeks of this thing are just a grind for you to get to the top 1% for this dragon trophy. This is something that I've mentioned down here too. The top 1% rule, it just sucks. Like, imagine to get 99 ranged on your account, you had to be top 1%. So as you think you're getting to that point, the goalposts keep moving and you're further and further away. It's just demotivating. It was just like so frustrating. I want to just have it so it's like, okay, you need to get 50,000 points, and if you get that, you're Dragon Relic Trophy. Like, the task list has 1,000 tasks. If you complete 950 of them, then you land in this right here. If you complete 800, you get the Rune Trophy. If you complete, you know, whatever it is. Oh, that looks really nice. Stuff like that. So that would be what I would do. Change the top 1% to being just a set number. It's just frustrating to me. Qualification for the finals. Couple of options. You have, say, the weekly PvP tournaments, which would, you know, keep this league relevant. Very relevant, especially on Twitch, on YouTube. People are like, oh damn, like I can't wait for, like, see what happens next weekend. You know, like the weekly Gillinor Games episodes? Imagine there was a weekly, like, top 100 players get put into a 1v1 tournament. I know 100 doesn't really work with the brackets, so 64 would be the next best. Something like that. That would be really cool. Servers, yeah, like, honestly, if you just spent more time working on the servers and banning bots than making woodcutting expansions, I think that could be good. I don't know what they could do for this. There's going to be DDoSing if they use their current servers. I don't know anything about servers, so I'm not going to pretend like I know, but honestly, just get an external company, like a hidden third-party company, to make you, like, 5 servers that no one knows about, and then, like, on the day of the tournament, you're just like, yep, we're going to transfer everyone's accounts over to these servers. And then you get on there and people I don't know how DDoSing works, whatever. I'm just spitballing ideas. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to fixing this shit. Daily XP caps. A couple of Deadman modes had this, where for people not to be demotivated and quit, like, I would go away for 2 days on a weekend. I'd come back, and I'm still sitting there in, like, a rune chain body with an adamant longsword. And some guy rolls up with full arams, a whip, ice barrage, and just raffle stomps me down the poop drain. You know what I'm talking about? So I would say that this could be fun. If it's this, like, league hybrid, I don't think it's worth it. If it was a Deadman mode specifically, where it's just Deadman mode again, the XP caps make sense. Like, you want to have it so after, like, the end of week 1, everyone is still kind of in the same bracket. The other way that they did this was they made it so there was specific worlds where if you were, like, above 90 combat, like 90 to 110 combat, you're in these worlds. If you're 110 plus, you're in these worlds. If you're under 90, say it's like 40 to 90 was like another bracket, like stuff like that. So, like, that separates the players a little bit. I don't know. It's just like a thought. There could be daily XP caps just to help people not get caught too far behind, but not if it's this league. If it's right as I'm explaining it here, you don't need that. Just let people play. Otherwise, there was one last thing down here. Let me scroll down. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, that, yeah. Subscribe. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. You guys are awesome, cool, and great.